In a world where leaders are forged through intellect, resilience, and an unrelenting drive, one woman's journey from the segregated South to the pinnacle of global diplomacy embodies brilliance, courage, and heart. At 70, Condoleezza Rice, former U.S. Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, and trailblazing scholar, stands as a towering figure, proving that determination, wisdom, and an unbreakable spirit can conquer any challenge. This is the story of a woman who rose from humble beginnings to become a diplomatic titan, a transformative educator, and an inspiration, redefining leadership with relentless resolve. Born on November 14, 1954, in Birmingham, Alabama, Condoleezza Rice grew up in a city scarred by racial segregation and violence. Raised by parents John, a Presbyterian minister and educator, and Angelina, a music teacher, Condi was steeped in a culture of faith, education, and perseverance. Her parents, both college-educated, instilled a belief that excellence could transcend prejudice. In the Jim Crow South, where Black families faced systemic barriers, Condi's childhood was marked by resilience. She began piano lessons at 3, mastering Chopin by her teens, and excelled academically, skipping 1st and 7th grades. At 15, she enrolled at the University of Denver, initially pursuing music but switching to political science after a transformative course on Soviet studies taught by Joseph Corbel. Graduating cum laude at 19 in 1974, she earned a master's from Notre Dame in 1975 and a PhD from Denver's Graduate School of International Studies in 1981, specializing in Soviet military affairs. Her early years were defined by a hunger for knowledge, shaped by Birmingham's 1963 church bombing, which killed 4 girls she knew, fueling her resolve to break barriers. Condi's academic career was meteoric. At 26, she joined Stanford University's political science faculty in 1981, becoming a tenured professor by 1993. Her expertise on the Soviet Union earned her a reputation as a brilliant scholar, publishing works like The Soviet Union and the Czechoslovak Army, 1948 to 1983. In 1989, she served as Director of Soviet and East European Affairs on the National Security Council under President George H.W. Bush, advising on the end of the Cold War and German reunification. At 35, she briefed world leaders, her intellect and poise commanding respect. Returning to Stanford, she became provost in 1993, the first woman, Black person, and youngest person in the role, managing a $1.5 billion budget and navigating fiscal challenges with strategic cuts and fundraising. Her leadership transformed Stanford's academic landscape, earning accolades for her decisiveness. In 2001, Condi became National Security Advisor under President George W. Bush, the first woman in the role. She shaped U.S. foreign policy post 9/11, coordinating responses to al-Qaeda and advocating for the 2003 Iraq invasion, a decision that remains controversial. Her smoking gun, testimony to the 9/11 Commission and push for transformational diplomacy defined her tenure. In 2005, she became the 66th U.S. Secretary of State, the first Black woman to hold the post. Serving until 2009, she promoted democracy in the Middle East, brokered Israel's Gaza withdrawal, and strengthened U.S.-Africa ties, notably through PEPFAR, which saved millions from HIV/AIDS. Her shuttle diplomacy, logging over 1 million miles, resolved conflicts like the 2006 Israel-Lebanon crisis. Despite criticism over Iraq, her 80% approval rating in 2006 Pew polls reflected her global influence. Posts on X in 2025 laud her as a diplomatic pioneer, with scholars citing her role in reshaping U.S. foreign policy. Condi faced immense challenges. As a Black woman in predominantly white, male spaces, she navigated racism and sexism with grace, recalling in her 2010 memoir, Extraordinary, Ordinary People, how her father taught her to be twice as good. The Iraq War's fallout, with over 4,000 U.S. troop deaths, drew scrutiny, and her defense of enhanced interrogation techniques sparked debate. Yet, her resilience shone through, maintaining composure during Senate hearings and public protests. Returning to Stanford in 2009, she became a professor and director of the Hoover Institution in 2020, guiding its global policy research. Her 2023 book, to build a better world, reflects on diplomacy's lessons, earning praise for its clarity. At 70, she advises on U.S.-China relations, warning of Beijing's ambitions in a 2025 Foreign Affairs op-ed, and serves on corporate boards like Dropbox and C3.ai, shaping tech policy. Kendi's global impact transcends diplomacy. Her role in negotiating the 2008 U.S.-India nuclear deal strengthened bilateral ties, and her advocacy for women's rights in the Middle East inspired reforms in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. As a public intellectual, she speaks at forums like the 2024 Davos Summit, blending realism with optimism. Her mentorship of young scholars, particularly women of color, has fostered a new generation of leaders, with Stanford students on X calling her a role model who listens. Her piano performances, including a 2024 Kennedy Center duet with Yo-Yo Ma, showcase her cultural influence, blending Bach with her Alabama roots. At 70, Kendi is a cultural force. Her $8 million net worth, earned through speaking fees, books, and board roles, reflects her stature, yet she remains tied to Birmingham, where she funds scholarships via the Rice Family Foundation, launched in 2010. The foundation supports education for underserved youth, raising $5 million since inception. In 2024, she donated $100,000 to restore Titusville's historic Bethel Baptist Church, a civil rights landmark. Posts on X from Alabama residents call her Birmingham's daughter, praising her youth mentorship programs. An avid golfer, she joined Augusta National in 2012, the first woman member, and chairs its competition committee, shaping the Masters' future. Kendi's personality, poised yet warm, endears her to peers. Known for her love of football, a Cleveland Browns fan, classical music, and Alabama barbecue, she brings humor to lectures, often joking about her piano outshining her golf swing. Her mantra, "Never let others define you," reflects her journey through segregation and skepticism. Despite personal sacrifices, no spouse or children due to career demands, her resilience shines. In a 2025 CBS interview, she said, "Challenges forge character. Faith and family got me through." Her openness about growing up in a segregated South resonates, with fans on X noting her ability to bridge divides. Condoleezza Rice's journey, from Birmingham prodigy to Secretary of State and global influencer, is a testament to heart and hustle. Her 20 books, 66th secretary tenure, and Hoover leadership are milestones in a career defying expectations. At 70, she's poised to shape geopolitics and education, blending intellect with empathy. Whether advising presidents, uplifting communities, or inspiring the next generation, Kendi's fire burns bright, reminding us that greatness is forged through will, work, and an unbreakable spirit. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Condoleezza Rice's rise to greatness. Your support keeps stories like these alive. Stay fierce, keep pushing, and we'll see you next time.